So, found them, solved it. 2 more questions here. Alright, find the solutions, roots, zeros, answers, x-intercepts. I gave you pretty much every name possible that they could ask for. You're just solving is all it is, and you're finding the answer. These all mean the same thing. A solution is a root where it crosses the x-axis. Another word for solution is answer. And another word for where it crosses the x-axis or x-intercept is the zero of the function. Those are all the same meaning. Every word has the same meaning on a graph. Okay? So I want to find the solution here. Well, how many terms are up here? 4, yep. Just kidding. 3. Okay, so if there are 3 terms up here, I can't do factor by grouping, but I can probably try to see maybe does it just basic factoring. Because that's probably normally how you do most of these problems in this test. Okay, so now, what times what gives me x to the, or 2x to the 4? 2 times 1, and then x squared times x squared. And then what times what gives me 20? You get a multiple amount of numbers. Now you're subtracting your 2 numbers to get to 3. So I'd maybe try, well, let's try, we can go 10 and 2, we can go 5 and 4, 1 and 20. Let's try 5 times 4. Okay, so let's check it. What's the outside here give me? 8x squared. What's the inside here give me? 5x squared. And I'm trying to, this means subtract. So subtract to get a positive 3x squared. How do you get a positive 3x squared? 8 has to be positive, 5 has to be negative. So the 5 is negative here, which makes this guy a positive. Okay, and then once you have factored, how do I finish solving? Yep, set each one equal to 0. This is just like on the last problem here. So x squared equals negative 4, and then you guys know how to square root that. And just like the last problem, it's plus or minus 2i. Okay, and on this problem, we get 2x squared equals 5. I would divide by 2. Okay, so x squared equals 5 halves. And now when you square root, okay, this might be something you got to pay attention on. Okay, you can't have a square root in the denominator, so what do we got to do then to get rid of that square root in the denominator? Multiply it by square root 2. So x equals plus or minus on the bottom, square root 2 times square root 2, square root of 4, which turns into 2. And on the top I'd have square root 10. Okay, so there are my solutions. Okay, and the last thing which we did in this chapter is the rational root theorem. Okay, so rational root theorem, rational, what did that word mean? Fractional or fraction. So rational, another word for rational is a fraction. And what's another word for root? Where it crosses the x-axis. Okay, so fraction means rational, so I need fractional values where it crosses the x-axis. So what was the formula for that? It was what over what? Last over first. Okay, what's my last number here? 4. What combinations multiply together to give me 4? You do need to write these on the test. If you don't, you're probably going to lose some points. On this test too, I think you might have to do quadratic formula at the end, I'm guessing, when you do this. Plus or minus 4. Okay, and then what times what gives me the first term of 2? There's only 2 choices, 1 and 2. Alright, so now I got to write every possible combination that I could get out of that. So I would do 1 over 1, which is plus or minus 1. I would then go 2 over 1, which is plus or minus 2. And then 4 over 1, which is plus or minus 4. Okay, I would then, I'm done using 1, so now I'm going to use the 2 on the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to use the 2 on the bottom. Okay, so it's 1/2. I'm going to use the 2 over 2. Well, what's 2 over 2 turn into? 1. And what's 4 over 2 turn into 2? So actually, here are my 8 choices that are going to go into my, you got it, synthetic division. Now we got to remember to always have placeholders. Do we need, are there any placeholders that are missing here? Now in this problem there are not, because we have the cube, we have the squared, we have the 1 and then the nothing. 1 would be here, and then nothing would be where the 4 is. Okay, and then now from here we either guess and check, or, I told you shortcut wise, if you just go into y equals, plug it into your calculator, and we can graph that. We can actually look at that to see what it looks like here. So 2x cubed minus 9x squared plus 3x plus 4. Okay, graph. Okay, and then we could look and maybe see, by the looks of it, it looks like 1 might be a number that works here. So if I bring down my 2, I get a 2 here, and then you'd add, and then you multiply, and then I add, and then I multiply. And what has to happen every time for it to be a root? Gives me 0, right? Now, I'm down to 3 right here. On the test, if you don't get down to 3, guess what you have to do again? You have to keep trying. Now, I could keep trying here if I looked at my graph and saw another number of those work, but I'm down to 3. So once I'm down to 3, I'm going to rewrite it. So 2x squared minus 7x minus 4. Okay, and let's say I don't want to do factoring here. Let's say I'm not sure if it actually does factor. So let's say I want to do quadratic formula. Let's do that right now. So x equals negative b. So negative 7 plus or minus the square root of b squared. Now you have to put this in parentheses. Minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? And now, when I simplify this, again, the negative 7 turns into 7 plus or minus. I don't do anything with the square root, but I do plug in the rest. So I'd go parenthesis negative 7 parenthesis squared minus 4 parenthesis 2, close it off, and then another parenthesis negative 4, close that off. Ooh, nice, this did factor. Okay, but that's okay. 2 times 2 gives me 4. Okay, what's the square root of 81 turn into? 9. Yep, so square root of 81 turns into 9. Now there's how many answers in this problem here? There's 2. Okay, so my first answer would be 7 plus 9 divided by 4, which, what does that give me? 16 over 4, which gives me 4. So 4 is one answer. What would my other answer be? It'd be 7 minus 9 divided by 4. So that would be a negative 2 over 4, which, what does that give me? A negative half. So negative half is an answer, 4 is an answer, and my third answer would have been 1. So then 1 would have been my third answer. So x equals 1 is the third. And again, how many answers should have I had here? 3 of them. Okay? And when I do this last over first, what is that called? It's called the rational root theorem. Okay? So that right there is our review. If I went too fast for you, or you needed to, maybe need to study when you go home tonight, this will be on my YouTube channel. Search my name, Kelly Roemmich, and you will find this review sitting on there. You can also get it off the high school lesson plan. You go to Stanley High School, go down to on the right column to high school lesson plans, find my name, and then there'll be a link of it on my lesson plan on that website once you click my name on there. So thank you, and good luck on the test tomorrow.